Hi. Today I will tell you the four things I believe someone who is considering to begin pilot training or someone who is currently in pilot training should have considered or should know. First, in some cases, the training facility slash school will ask you to pay the full cost of your training upfront. I only recommend you doing this if the school has a national footprint. That is to say, they have multiple locations throughout the United States. The only school that I can think of that currently has such an arrangement is ATP. What I do recommend you do if you are attending a school that's located at your local airport and one that does not have a national footprint, nor do they have a regional footprint, is to employ a pay as you go scheme. Either pay at the end of every training session, pay twice a month, or pay once a month. My reason for recommending this is to avoid you losing your money should the companies go bankrupt. I've spoke to many pilots. I currently fly with one pilot who lost, I think it was $50,000 or $60,000 after paying for his training up front, only to have the school go bankrupt thereafter. You need to protect yourself. If your local school tell you they're not gonna employ a pay as you go scheme, find another school that will employ that. The second thing you need to consider is the quality of instructing. Some instructors tend to present the information the way they want to present it. They present the information the way they understand it. They give no consideration for the learning habits or the learning style of you, the student. Other instructors take the time, and these are usually the good instructors, take the time to understand your learning habits and tailor the presentation of the material to suit your learning style. This increases the chances of you becoming successful, and it increases the chances of you comprehending the material properly. Third, like school, you will be assigned after training reading. Your instructor will tell you, today is Monday, I want to see you back on Wednesday. When you show up, I would like you to have completed reading these 2 or 3 chapters. You must do the assigned reading. There is nothing more frustrating and more costly for you, frustrating for the instructor, to have a student show up ill prepared to discuss the lesson. It's a cost to you because the instructor may have planned only to spend an hour with you discussing any questions or misunderstanding of your reading. Instead, because you didn't do the reading, he or she now have to spend 2 hours going over the very thing you should have read. This will cost you a lot of money over time, because let's assume your training lasts 8 months and you never did any of the assignments, and you see your instructor 3 times per week, and he has to spend 3 additional hours per week explaining to you things that you should have read. Do the math. It's a crap ton of money. Also, if you are unsure about anything your instructor have told you, ask him or her. They will gladly explain it. And secondly, make use of YouTube. Any conceivable question you have about flying, about a plane, about aviation weather, about the Federal Aviation Regulation, about instrument flying, someone has made a YouTube video on it. It is a fantastic and it's a free learning tool. Make use of it. Fourth, and finally, this is the most important thing, in my opinion. From the time we attend kindergarten to when we graduate high school and some of us college, we have been taught a very specific way to learn, and that is to consume the information, retain it only as long as is necessary to pass the test or to finish that class. Once that is achieved, we tend to flush it. It's gone. This does not work in aviation. Everything you are told, everything you must learn, everything you comprehend, you have to remember it. And most importantly, you need to be able to apply it. There is no such thing in aviation training as I'm going to learn this and I'm going to cram it to pass my private pilot test. I'm going to learn and I'm going to cram it to pass my instrument pilot test. I'm going to learn and I'm going to cram it to pass my ATP test, and then I'm going to flush it. You don't flush anything. You have to remember it all. And even if you cannot remember it all, you must be able to know where to find it. This is the key here. Knowing this is the difference between you walking away from a successful landing and you being taken away by an ambulance. You literally need to re-engineer your construct of consuming information. You need to get rid of everything you have learned as it pertains to learning, the consumption of information, and reconstruct it completely. You have to if you're going to be successful in your pilot training. Those are the four things I believe you need to know if you desire to be successful as a current student or as someone who is considering to become a pilot. Do not make a lump sum payment in cases where your training facility is a local school. It will prevent you from losing all of your money should the company go bankrupt. Choose an instructor that spends time to understand your learning habits, your style, and tailor the presentation of the information to match your style. It makes it easier for you to comprehend and retain the information. If you're given overnight studying, do the reading, do the studying. It's going to cost you less money and it's going to make you prepared to discuss the information with the instructor the following day. And finally, you need to re-engineer, reconstruct the way you have been taught about gathering, maintaining, or retaining information for the past 18 or 19 years. Failure to do so will make it extremely difficult. I cannot emphasize this enough. Extremely difficult for you to be a successful pilot candidate. I'm speaking from experience. Okay, I hope this video is helpful and informative. If you guys have any questions or thoughts about anything I've said, leave it in the comments below. I will personally respond to each and every one of them. That's it for this one. Until next time, be good.